Samuel Leeds here, and welcome to this week's show. And we are here with Joe Lane. Joe, good to have you on the show.
Yeah, brilliant. Nice to be here.
You've got an interesting background. In fact, Joe, you didn't really want me to bring you on the show yet. You were like, can we just wait a few months until I've got an even more amazing story, right?
I was, yeah.
But you are financially free.
I am, yep.
Full-time in property.
Yep.
Why don't you just give us a little bit of background about yourself?
I was in the Royal Marines. Was in there for 8.5 years. So served time in Afghanistan, Iraq. Did some time with the Coastal Guards, working in London, doing ceremonial. I then got injured, so I got a really bad injury on the ski slopes in Austria. I was in a coma for about 3 days, and then spent 18 months relearning how to walk and talk, which was a bit emotional, but I fought through it.
That's quite incredible, really. I mean, a coma for 3 days and then had to learn to walk and talk all over again. That must have been absolutely traumatic.
Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it, really?
And you were married at the time?
I wasn't married at the time, no.
That's probably for the best. You wouldn't remember your wife?
No, exactly, yeah.
Maybe you were married at the time, but you don't remember.
I've forgotten, yeah.
So you had that awful experience.
Yep.
What happened next work-wise?
Work-wise, I probably worked out that the Royal Marines I wanted to be on the front line, so that probably wasn't going to be the way forwards. Yeah. So I set up the retail line for the Royal Marines charity. Yeah. So made www.royalmarineshop.com. I really tuned into that for 4 years.
Why did you set that charity up?
I wanted to give back to the Royal Marines. They were fairly good at standing by me during my injury. Yeah. And I wanted to help the other guys who were going through a fairly torturous time with injuries at that time. I think the Royal Marines were the most injured guys in Afghanistan. There's pretty much a unit out there for every single Herrick. Yeah. I had friends who were sort of triple amputees and things and trying to fight their way back. Yeah. So I wanted to...
It's ironic that your injury happened on a ski slope and not, actually doing your job.
Probably frustrating or whatever for my mum, because she probably waves goodbye, doesn't she? Or waved goodbye when I was off to Afghanistan and Iraq. Yeah. Probably fearing for the worst.
Not when you're skiing.
Not when you're off skiing. No, exactly. Yeah.
So how did property come about then? When did you decide that you wanted to be a property investor, and how did that come about?
Yeah. I became an accidental landlord. Right. I had a place back in Poole, and then that was working quite nicely. I then had a friend who recommended I went down to a property event down in Plymouth. Yeah. And then you came down to that, did a really good talk. I ended up buying a property from you shortly afterwards.
Yeah, because this was this was like a good couple of years ago.
Yeah, it was, back in 2016 maybe.
Yeah, so we met then, and I remember on the night talking about HMOs and how a lot of people down south think that they can only buy houses down south, but actually they might not necessarily be the best return. Yep. And we looked at a property together, didn't we, in Derby?
It was in Derby, yep.
So that was your first kind of proper investment property aside being an accidental landlord, right?
It was, yeah.
Okay. Yep. So how's that property going?
It's working really well. Yeah, it's superb. It's in a really good area. Yeah. I pretty much got it rented the whole time.
How much did you buy it for?
96.5.
So you bought it for 96,500, and did it need a big refurb?
Needed about 15-20 grand on the
refurb.
refurb.
So it needed a reasonable refurb. Yeah. And then how much is it worth now?
Probably worth about 120, 130.
Okay. Oh. So you've kept its value. Yeah. And how much are you renting it out for?
£1,400.
£1,400. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a decent property with a return on investment of what?
It's about 25%.
25%. Fantastic. And you just completed on a property, what, today?
Yeah, yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
I was with you when you completed.
I was, yeah. Oh, you were, yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about that property then.
That property is in Nottingham. It's on the Brewer scheme, so buy, refurb, refinance, rent. Yeah. I've done a joint venture with a friend. We managed to get investors into us, and we bought that in an auction. It's my first auction. Managed to get it for 98,000, and at the end we're hoping to get 165 refinance for 165.
Fantastic.
So hopefully we'll leave no money in.
Yeah, fantastic. And how much will that bring your passive income to then? Because at the moment you're on about 2,000, right?
It won't be a massive cash flow.
But it's no money down.
It's no money down deal, so we'll have a house essentially.
Sure. So you might make what, £200-300 a month?
Yeah, I reckon about £300-400 a month.
Okay, so it'll push you up to around about 2-4 a month.
But we've done that with no money down,
which is pretty impressive.
After your training, and things. And
I mean, that's pretty impressive.
It's cool. Yeah.
So tell me how that's structured then. So it's a no money down deal.
Yeah.
You've bought it for 98.
Yep.
98,000. That's in Nottingham, right?
Yep.
Which we think is going to be good for capital appreciation as well.
Yeah.
98,000. How are you financing the deal?
A JV partner has put in a certain amount, and the rest of it's through investors that we have met and worked with.
Are you getting a mortgage for it?
We will do when we refinance.
So you're borrowing the whole 98,000 from investors?
Yeah, we might end up doing bridging.
Yeah.
If another deal comes up. So
have you already bought it that you completed yesterday?
Yeah, we've already bought it using their investors' money.
Yeah.
But if I need to refinance it with bridging, I've spoken with Kevin Wright.
Got you.
And then we can do bridging on that property.
If you need to pay the investors back?
No. If I want to buy another property in the time before I refinance.
Okay. So just talking about this property alone, I know you're on you've got a lot going through at the moment.
Yeah.
A lot in the pipeline. Yeah. You're also doing rent to SAs.
Yep.
Buying HMOs, a load of stuff going on. But just on this deal, I'm trying to understand it.
Yep.
So you bought it for 98,000. You borrowed all the money from investors. How many investors put the money in?
About 4.
About 4 investors. So they gave about 25,000 approximately each.
Yeah, cool. That. Yeah.
And how much return are you giving them? What's the scheme? Or are you going to give them a percentage of the profit of the deal?
No, we're doing it on a return basis, and it's between 5 and 8%
per year.
Per year.
And how long have you borrowed it for?
Different people have got different schemes. So it very much depends on what the investor wants to get out of it.
Yeah.
Some guys came to us and said, right, have my money for 6 months fixed, so we know when we're going to have to pay them back.
Yeah.
The guy said we're not overly sure, or they're having a baby or something else, so they weren't sure how long they wouldn't need the money.
So the shortest is 6 months. What's the longest?
Well, on some we've got they'll give us 3 months notice before they need the money.
Yeah.
So
okay.
They want to
so what happens if in 6 months everyone says, I want my money back now, please?
In 6 months' time, we will have refinanced.
So it doesn't matter?
No.
If you refinance it, you might still keep their money just because.
Yeah.
And put them into other projects.
And then the plan is to keep them up to date very much with how the project's going. Yeah. So if we share our success, then the idea is that they'll want to reinvest with us anyway.
Because they'll see how successful you are.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So you've bought it for 98.
Yeah.
How much money are you going to have to spend doing it up?
20,000.
And where's that money going to come from?
Again, investors.
Right. Okay. So you've actually borrowed 100.
So slightly more than
120.
25 each. Yeah.
Okay. So about 30 each. So you're going to spend about 20,000 doing it up.
Yeah.
So 98 you've bought it for. You spent 20 grand doing it up. So you've now spent about 118. What will the done up value be?
About 165.
165.
Yeah.
How have you managed to only spend 20 grand on it, but have an uplift of £85,000?
It'd be an uplift of about 40,000, but it's
No, because if you're buying it for 98.
Okay. All right. So
you've got an uplift of 85 because you say 65.
Yeah, about 65.
But you've only spent 20.
Yeah.
So how have you managed? Why is it not worth 120?
We bought it at auction.
Yeah.
And we worked out the price, so we knew we're buying for the correct price.
Yeah.
It had sold previously, and one of the conditions was they had damp course put in. The damp course was put in at the expense of about £8,000, and then the seller pulled out, and the seller was going to be paying 113.
Right.
And then it's a game, isn't it, to make it look like it's worth.
So the first thing is you found a very motivated seller.
Yeah.
And you bought from auction.
Yeah.
That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Tell me about buying from auction. Is it scary buying from auction?
It was my first auction.
Right.
I bid on the first lot, which I didn't get, and I was semi-relieved.
Yeah.
Because you need to work out exactly what figures you can be paying.
So when you bought this house for 98, did you know that? What was the max you'd go to? Was the max 98?
No, the max was 100.
100.
Yeah.
And you got it for a little bit less.
Yeah.
So how did that feel like? Talk me through what happened in the auction.
I didn't go in until quite late, so I think the gravel was about to go down, and I sort of popped up.
So you waited until it was getting a bit dry?
Yeah, so it got down to, it was about 93 at that stage. And then when I popped up, it went through about 4,000 or 5,000 really quickly.
Yeah.
But then the other guy must have had his limit and didn't go any further.
Yeah.
So the auctioneer just said, go and go and go on.
Brilliant. And how did you feel then?
Nervous.
Yeah. Because even though the thing is, I wouldn't recommend people maybe watching this video. You're on the academy, right?
Yeah.
So you've got a lot of support.
Yeah.
A lot of help. I remember you were showing me the deal and stuff.
Yeah,
one-to-one. Also, you have got some experience in property now.
Yep.
You're already financially free.
Yep.
You've got how many properties? 4 properties?
4 properties.
Four properties. Yep. So you've got a little portfolio going on.
Yep.
But borrowing £120,000 cash off private investors, buying from an auction, these are all things that can go wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This isn't a case of just buying a nice up and running single-let house or even HMO. This is a little bit different, right?
Yeah.
But where there's bigger risk, there's usually bigger reward because there needs more skill.
Yeah.
So you've got the property from auction, you've bought it below market value.
Yep.
The others that are done up in the street, nice, presumably are selling for around about 160, 165.
Yeah.
And that's how you know what the end value is going to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So once you refinance in 6 months, you're then going to maybe pay the investors off, maybe not.
Yeah.
But then you've got a property no money down, which you can then rent out single let.
Yep, single let.
And make a nice little bit of profit from.
Yep.
So what's going to be your strategy now moving forward then?
Strategy moving forwards, rent to rent SA, just to get cash flow up.
Yeah.
So I've got my own money.
Yeah. Because at the moment, a lot of people that I meet are almost a bit stuck at financial freedom.
Okay, yeah.
So it's like, I'm financially free, but I've spent all my money and what's next?
Yeah.
Which is kind of where you got to a little bit.
Yeah, I was stuck. Yeah, I probably was stuck.
Yeah.
And I knew that I needed to surround myself with people involved in property.
Because making £2,000 a month, that might be near enough the average salary.
Yeah.
Might be enough to be able to quit work. It's passive income.
Yeah.
But if you just lived off that income, one, it would be pretty boring.
Yeah.
I'm financially free, I don't have a job. I'm now just going to twiddle my thumbs. Although people think that would be amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I would find that pretty boring to do nothing.
I'd find it, I had a good time.
Yeah.
We had a baby, so we went off to Italy for 2 months.
Nice.
Which is lovely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I knew, I was in the wrong rings. I wasn't ever going to just sit at home and twiddle my thumbs. So
also, your wife's working.
She's working,
and she's on quite a good salary, and she's working for...
Yeah, for the Air Force.
For the Air Force.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I know she loves what she does, doesn't she?
Yeah.
But ultimately, it would be nice for her to be able to have the opportunity to be able to either be financially free as well and quit work, or stay at work to have their choice, right?
Yeah. I mean, she's been in there for 20 years now.
Yeah.
So I think it would be nice for her to be able to leave.
Mm.
Yeah, and then sort of...
Yeah. So what made you join the academy then? Because if you were basically already financially free, because I know we did a bit of work together and I sourced your property and we did a little bit before you even joined the academy.
Yep.
You became financially free and then joined the academy, which is the opposite way around to most people. Most people join the academy and then become financially free. So you did it a little bit backwards. Why did you join the academy even after achieving financial freedom through my help?
I think education is really, really important.
Yeah.
I hadn't really done that much before.
Yeah.
And then to surround myself really with like-minded people.
Yeah.
And then to take me to the next level. So I'd like to do developments.
Yeah.
I'd like to go do commercial to residential.
Yeah.
And it's only by networking and talking and making friends with like-minded people that you're able to do that. So
yeah.
Okay,
cool. So what have been the biggest lessons then so far? I know you've only been on the academy a month, but
biggest lessons have probably been putting your story out there.
Yeah.
So letting people know what you do.
Yeah.
Putting it over in a really concrete way.
Yeah.
So people are happy and confident in what you can achieve for them.
Yeah.
And look into all the different strategies, but also have your clear focus. And I think you had a really cool analogy. If you're going for an apple, so the apple's at the end of the room, keep going towards it, but enjoy the whole journey.
Yeah.
And I think that's,
I don't remember saying that, but it sounds like something I might say.
You said something along those lines.
Yeah, I think what I say is if you try and chase 2 rabbits, you'll get none.
Yeah.
But yeah, there we go.
Okay.
So what does your wife think of the whole thing then, the whole property thing?
Yeah, Laura's really into it.
Yeah.
She got into property at about 18. Did really well on a couple of flips.
Yeah.
But then Air Force took over.
So she made some chunks of money.
She made some chunks of money, and then relationships and whatever else took her, and work took her off to the Air Force.
Yeah.
So she went totally cold on it.
Yeah.
And then now she's quite keen to get back involved.
And what's it like living, because where do you live?
Down in Bristol.
In Bristol. What's it like investing in Nottingham and even further north and Derby when you live far away? Is that manageable?
It is manageable, yeah. I flew up to Sunderland on Monday.
Flew
from Bristol Airport. It's only an hour on the plane.
Wow, you actually flew?
Yeah, actually.
That's pretty cool.
It's cool, yeah. It's
right,
good.
okay, there we go. Did you go on a plane or a helicopter?
I flew by plane. Good
When
old
you say
EasyJet.
you flew, you didn't fly the plane.
I didn't fly.
I don't know with you because you're a dark horse.
Okay,
so I have to ask.
Yeah, no, I got a flight up there. Then got a hire car. It's brilliant actually. It's I met up with Laura's mum for breakfast, then went property hunting, then met up with Laura's sister for like coffee in the afternoon, and then went and saw a few more properties, met up with a good HMO agent.
And this was in Sunderland?
That's in Sunderland, then drove down here and then been on a course the last 2 days.
Brilliant, that sounds awesome. So how do you choose an area? So you're doing Nottingham, Derby, which are quite close to each other.
Yeah.
Now you're going up to Sunderland. Why Sunderland? Why Nottingham? How are you choosing these areas?
Derby and Nottingham are really good for capital appreciation, and the figures can work. So the capital appreciation and nearness to us back in Bristol, which probably motivated me to go towards those areas. Yeah. But up in the northeast, you've got some really good deals. Yeah. The house price is fantastic, so I've just put an offer in for under 50 grand for a property, which I won't be able to get a mortgage on through a limited company.
How much? No, you won't. Not if it's below 50.
No, but I'll be able to. Is it just literally opposite the hospital up there? So I'll be able to turn that into a multi-let.
Wow, less than 50 grand multi-let.
So
that's going to give you some high return on investment there.
Well, yeah, definitely. Again, though, it's finding it below market value, isn't it?
Yes.
So that's the secret.
Yeah. What is the secret then, or at least one of the secrets, one of the techniques, strategies to being able to knock so much money off the asking price?
Putting yourself out there. Yeah. I think your deal finding extravaganza and never use your own money again courses really. They open your eyes as to what is possible. And then I think the more you put yourself out there, the more that ends up coming your way. Yeah. So on your course, we sent letters to potential PLOs, people in negative equity.
Yeah, we did.
That didn't come off, but I did get a phone call from a guy who's got a portfolio of 6, which an agent had passed to him. So I met up with him.
Oh, wow.
Which is a potential deal.
Yeah.
Later on, because he didn't really know about tax and capital gains and things. So it's educating those sort of people. And then, Rightmove is really cool. Knowing all the different websites to look at. Yeah. Gumtree for rent to rent. Just putting yourself out there. Yeah.
I guess sending the letters as well. You say, it didn't work, but then actually it ended up spiralling into something else that did work. Yeah. And that's often the way, isn't it? You go and book a viewing, and it was like I spoke to Des on another interview, and he said he booked a viewing. He went all the way to Middlesbrough from, I think, London or somewhere, and long drive. The property was no good, and he went, "Oh, that's terrible. You must have something else." And then they ended up finding something else on the day that was really good. Yeah. Same with you, sending letters, and I think taking action as well, implementing. And that's one of the things you mentioned. The training that you've done with myself. We make you do it, don't we? There and then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's not like here's what you do, go home and have fun. It's like, here's what you do, now let's do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And you've got no choice but to implement. And if you implement with the right knowledge, you've got no choice, but you're going to succeed, which is what you're doing. Talk to me a little bit about these joint venture partners then, or raising finance partners, should we say. How did you identify them, and how did you get them to agree to give you 120 grand? I mean, that's a pretty big achievement.
Yeah, they were people that myself and Dave worked with. Or had worked with in the past.
So they're work colleagues?
Yeah.
And how did it come about?
Just by telling them what we're doing, and then asking the question, do you know anybody who might want to invest in this project?
Okay, so rather than saying, would you like to, you're saying, do you know anyone that might like to?
Yeah.
And that's a less, it's a softer way.
It plants a seed.
And then what did they say?
I'll have a think about it. Yeah. And then the following day, they come back and say, do you want to go for a coffee?
Brilliant. And then it's like, okay, excellent.
Yeah. And then well, when the cash hits your bank, then it's done deal, isn't it?
And it's win-win. I mean, they're probably really happy because they're getting 5%, 10% rather than getting 0.5%.
Yep.
It's great for you because you've got the knowledge to be able to make it infinity return on investment effectively.
Yeah.
So, and did the 4 people, are they all work colleagues then?
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
And are they all kind of in on it together?
No, they were all independent.
Individual.
Yeah.
Mate, that's pretty impressive. I mean, getting 4 people to give you £30,000 approximately.
Yeah.
You must have a skill of being able to raise finance. What is it that? Why do you think you were able to be so successful in that area? Because there's a lot of people that would love to be able to have that skill. Do you think it's because of your track record of property, your trustworthiness? Do you think it's what you said, happens to be who you know? What is it that made you able to get success in that?
I think it's your trustworthiness, I think.
Yeah.
So being yourself, whoever you meet, and in whatever circumstance, and then probably building the track record.
Well, I wouldn't have any problem. I wouldn't have any problem lending you money because I think that you can just the way that you are. I know you a little bit, and you always do what you say you're going to do. You seem trustworthy.
Yeah.
That's really important, isn't it? I think just to be honest and to be yourself.
That's my viewpoint. Yeah, definitely.
Transparent. Put your cards on the table.
Yeah.
Do you know anyone that'd be interested in this? And just ask.
Yeah. Put the message out there and just
excellent.
Be yourself.
What would be so far from what you've done? You're financially free. So from your success. Might in your eyes it might be little. I know you say to me, "Oh, it's not that big a deal," but to some people, it's mega. The fact that you now no longer have to ever work again if you don't want. You've got an income coming in. That's mega. What would you say would be the best piece of advice that you've learned throughout being a property investor up to date so far?
Don't ever take shortcuts. Probably.
Sure. Yeah. Give me an example.
Either when you're doing a refurb,
yeah,
because that'll just come back and bite you in the bottom.
Yeah.
Or when you're trying to search tenants, because when you've got an empty room, it's very tempting just to put the first person in there who comes along, and if that person's not right, that will cause you an absolute nightmare down the line.
Brilliant advice.
So,
love that.
Yeah.
So, what would you say to someone that was thinking about booking onto the crash course? I know you've been to the crash course.
Yeah, I have. I think it's one of the most life-changing things you could probably do. I think it's amazing. It's totally eye-opening.
Yeah.
And it's entertaining, but entertaining and life-changing all in one go. So you'll have an amazing weekend, and it will change your life.
Love that.
Yeah,
fantastic. Well, Joe, thank you so much for coming on the show, and thank you for your friendship.
Yeah, cheers, Simon.
Cheers. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching the video. That is the reason why I'm doing this. Your success is my oxygen. Every single week, we've got people becoming financially free. If you'd like to see more success students, you can do that right here. But what I'd really suggest is why don't you come and join us at the Property Investors Crash Course. Come along, my guest, completely free, and I'll personally be there for 2 days to help you get started. You can see what happens right here. What you'll notice is all of these stories, they all start at the crash course. So come along, my guest, can't wait to see you there. Peace out.